The modern washing machine market is completely broken. You're being asked to pay $1,400 for a machine with a touchscreen that will die the moment your warranty expires, a computer board that costs $500 to replace, and an app you'll never use. In 19 years of appliance repair, I've seen more tears over smart washers than anything else. But if you stop chasing features and start looking at the engineering, there are 5 top-load machines that are virtually indestructible. Washers you buy once and use for decades. After nearly 2 decades fixing machines, I've learned the best washer isn't the one with Wi-Fi. It's the one that cleans clothes without a second thought. Today, I'm counting down the 5 cheap top loads everyone ignores. If you want a washer that works as hard as you do, you cannot ignore these 5. Number 5 is the basic Whirlpool direct drive model from the early 2000s. It doesn't have any fancy features, just a white box with a dial. People skip it because it looks too simple, but I had a client named Lisa, a dental hygienist with 3 kids, who bought a 2003 model used for $150. 12 years later, she'd done over 4,000 loads, and her total repair cost was exactly $85, 1 lid switch and 1 drive coupler. That's it. The secret is the direct drive transmission, a mechanical system with fewer moving parts than belt-driven models, which means less friction and less failure. When Whirlpool built these, they over-engineered the motor and coupler so much that hitting 15 years is common. What people don't realize is this was the last generation before they started adding electronic control boards. Everything is mechanical. The timer is a simple clockwork mechanism, not a computer. You're not buying a washer. You're buying a transmission that happens to have a cabinet around it. Insider check. Open the lid and push down on the agitator. It should have a tiny bit of play but feel solid. If it wobbles excessively, the agitator dogs are worn. A $12 part you can replace in 20 minutes with a screwdriver. Also, run a cycle and listen for grinding sounds from below. A smooth hum is good. Grinding means the transmission might need grease or replacement. You can find a clean one for under $200, and it will be the last washer you ever need to buy. Number 4 is the Maytag Performa or Atlantis series from the 1990s and early 2000s. People think it's too outdated because it's boxy with a mechanical timer instead of digital buttons, but here is the tech's truth. This washer was built when Maytag's entire reputation was riding on durability. I had a guy named Tom, a small business owner who inherited his mother's 1998 Performa. That machine has been running for 26 years. He has never opened it for repairs, not once. While people with 2023 LG washers are replacing $400 control boards and waiting 2 weeks for parts, Tom is washing work uniforms every single day without a second thought. The reason is the Maytag dependable drive transmission, an all-metal gear-driven system designed for commercial laundromats and then put into home machines. Everything inside is heavy-duty. The springs are thicker, the basket is porcelain-coated steel, and the motor has enough torque to handle overloading without strain. This was the last era when Maytag built washers to a standard, not a price point. Insider check. These machines can develop a rotten egg smell if someone uses too much detergent or only runs cold cycles. It's not a mechanical failure, just residue buildup. Run a cycle with hot water and 2 cups of white vinegar and it clears right up. Also check the suspension rods underneath. If the machine vibrates excessively during spin, the rods might need replacement. About $60 for the set and an hour of your time. Buy one for $100 to $250, spend an afternoon cleaning it, and you have a machine that will outlive most marriages. Number 3 is the GE Hydrowave washer from the mid-2000s. People laugh when I recommend this because it has the most boring control panel ever designed. Just a basic dial and a couple of buttons. But here is what they're missing. This machine uses a wobble plate wash system instead of a traditional agitator, meaning gentler cleaning and fewer parts that can break. I had a client named Karen who runs a small daycare. She bought a 2006 GE Hydrowave for $275 from a moving sale. That was 17 years ago. She washes towels, blankets, and kids' clothes 6 days a week. Over 5,000 loads. Her total repair bill? One drive motor at year 14, which cost $180 installed. Compare that to modern front loaders, where the door seal alone costs $200 and needs replacement every few years. Karen has saved thousands, simply by ignoring the showroom hype. The cabinet is heavier gauge steel, the basket is stainless steel that will never rust, and the suspension system handles off-balance loads without shaking the house apart. The wobble plate creates a rolling action that moves clothes through the water without the aggressive twisting of an agitator, meaning less wear on fabrics and less stress on the machine. From a serviceability standpoint, everything is modular and easy to reach with no complex computer diagnostics. Just straightforward mechanical and electrical components you can fix with a socket set on a Saturday morning. Insider check. Fill the tub and watch the wobble plate move. It should create a smooth, rolling wave pattern. If it's jerky or stops mid-cycle, the actuator motor might need replacement, but that's rare. Also, check the water inlet screens inside the hoses. They can clog with sediment and reduce water flow. That's a 5-minute fix. If the frame is solid and the motor runs smooth, you found a washer that will run until your grandkids are doing laundry. Number 2 is the Speed Queen Classic top load from the 2000s and the early 2010s. Even used, these go for $400 to $600, and people think that's too much for an old washer. But here is the reality. Speed Queen builds machines for laundromats, designed to run 10 to 12 cycles a day, every single day for 15 years. When you put that engineering into a home machine that runs maybe 6 times a week, you get a washer that essentially lasts forever. I had a client named Ray, a contractor, who bought his 2008 Speed Queen used in 2012. He washes concrete-covered work clothes, dusty towels, and greasy shop rags constantly. He just hit 20 years of total lifespan on that machine. His repair history? 0, not one service call. While people with new Samsung washers deal with failed door locks and bearing replacements at year 5, paying $600 each time, Ray is still running the same second-hand washer. The secret is all metal construction and a commercial-grade transmission. No plastic gears, no fragile belts, no electronic control boards that fail from power surges. The fill valve is accessible in 10 minutes. The motor mounts are bolted, not clipped. Even the timer is a mechanical cam system you can rebuild if needed, though you probably won't need to. Insider check. These machines are loud. They sound like they mean business because there's no sound insulation. That's not a defect. That's honesty. Check the mechanical timer. It should click firmly through each cycle position. If it feels mushy or stuck, it might need cleaning, but that's rare. Look at the cabinet for rust, especially near the bottom. If it's clean, you have a machine that will outlast your mortgage. Number 1 is the Kenmore 80 series or 90 series, built by Whirlpool from the late 1990s to the mid-2000s. In my shop, we call this the gold standard for home laundry. I had a client named Arthur, a mason, who bought his 2002 Kenmore 80 series brand new. That washer has handled mud-caked jeans, cement-dusted shirts, and heavy work clothes for 22 years. He just crossed 6,000 loads. The only major repairs he's ever needed: a water pump at year 16 and a belt at year 19. Total cost over 2 decades, $320. Compare that to someone who bought a $1,400 front loader in 2015 and has already replaced it once because the drum bearings failed. They've spent $2,800 on machines, while Arthur is still running his original Kenmore. The stigma is that it's just a basic Kenmore with a dated control panel. But are you buying a washer for a digital display, or because the transmission is basically indestructible? These Kenmore washers don't have smart load sensing that breaks. They don't have lid lock actuators that fail and trap your clothes. They have a simple mechanical system that works every time you turn the dial. The motor rarely fails, and when it does, replacement is under $150. The suspension springs are heavy duty and handle years of off-balance loads. The basket is porcelain-coated steel that won't rust, even if you forget wet clothes overnight. And if you see a Kenmore 70 series from the same years, it's almost the same machine. Grab it. Insider check. These washers can develop a musty smell if you use too much detergent or only wash in cold water. Run a hot cycle with a cup of bleach every month, and that's handled. If you hear a loud bang during the spin cycle, the suspension, springs, or shock absorbers might need attention. About $80 in parts and 2 hours of labor. After that, the washer is bulletproof. Find a clean 80 or 90 series for $150 to $300. It won't connect to your phone, but it will have a simple belt you can replace yourself for $20 and a motor that doesn't quit. These 5: Whirlpool Direct Drive, Maytag Performa, GE Hydrowave, Speed Queen Classic, and Kenmore 80/90 series are the only washers I'd trust for the long haul. While everyone else is financing a $1,200 Samsung with a control board that will fail in 8 years, you're buying freedom from repair bills. They'll replace their washer twice in the time you own one of these. They'll spend thousands on service calls for sensors you don't even have. When you buy one of these 5, you aren't just buying a washer, you're buying freedom from a payment plan. Don't let the showroom displays fool you. These 5 are the only ones that work.